Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to TCGCritique. Today we're going to talk about Edencloth. So Edencloth is different from Pvramid's Angel Down because the colors actually matter. Spoiler alert. So we have 4 Edencloths on us today and we're going to talk about all of them. Okay, so the first one I'm going to talk about is the Construct Edencloth Volcanic. This is that nice red that you guys see right here. And the next one we're going to talk about is the Edencloth Gorgon, and that's the nice black Edencloth. And the next one we're going to talk about is Edencloth Griffin, which is this dark brown tannish one. And then the last one we're going to talk about is Edencloth Fawn, which I do not have the card for, that's why I got it for a discount. This is known as the Grail Edencloth Fawn, for those who don't know. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started with Volcanic first, okay? And I'm gonna use Volcanic as an example for most of the Edencloth, okay? The general texture for Edencloth, I would definitely say it's soft. It's soft and it's plush. You can kind of press down on it. It feels very good when you kind of rub your hand against it. Okay, so I'll show you guys how smooth it is. Nice, right? It's just as smooth as one-player thirds. The one-player third is really nice for Edencloth. I really like it. And then also, Edencloth is great because you can play in 2-player too, so you're playing like, I don't know, at home with some pals and you're not scared of people spilling stuff in your cloth. It's nice too, right? So Edencloth is one of my favorites for sure. I kind of like all the Edencloths, but there is a best. There is a best, so wait for that. So aside from being soft, Edencloth is also known for its thickness. So Edencloth is a premium suede for sure. You can feel the premiumness because I think the thickness has a role. When you touch the cloth, it feels like very good quality compared to all the suedes from other brands I've tried and from the same brand itself. The other thing with Edencloth is it doesn't really crease. You notice how like you can fold it whichever way you want. It doesn't crease. Once you unfold it, it's unfolded, right? So that's a nice thing about Edencloth as well. Pile direction for Edencloth matters. So you notice that I'm doing this, you don't really see any pile because this is horizontal pile. You see that? So if I were to move against, see, it moves the mat, right? So if I were to kind of like slide my cards this way, you can kind of feel it. Wasn't that bad actually right there, but you can feel some kind of resistance. Kind of like messes my flow. The other thing that matters to me with Edencloth is ink. Even though it's one of my favorite mats, Edencloth's ink, as you can see, it's a little mid, I would say. But you're gonna expect this in any mat with pile. And Edencloth's pile is, on average, I would say mid, as in middle length. So it's not long pile, but it's also not short pile like Angel Down. So it's right in the middle. And that's the general consensus for Edencloth across the board, okay? So this was Volcanic. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to Griffin next, okay? So I'm gonna move on to Griffin. So this is Griffin Edencloth, and you can see that this ink is different from the ink that we just saw. This ink is metallic ink, and if you look closer to it, not only is it metallic ink, but it's line art. So because Edencloth and ink matters, definitely go for a line cloth if you don't want to feel the ink, because you can definitely feel the ink, that's for sure. I'm gonna go back to Volcanic real quick just to show you guys that you can hear the ink. It cracks, it won't chip off that much, but I do feel that if you keep playing on it and the more it cracks, if you're gonna miss any pieces, then it can get to a point where you might have a little bit of chipping. Not sure because it hasn't happened to me yet, and I use my Edencloths pretty regularly, but I just feel like it can if you're gonna use it over like a couple years. This one though, I don't think you can ever get the ink off this one. It's really good. Metallic ink on Edencloth is definitely premium. It looks premium too. And then the feel of it, it's just, you don't really feel it, right? It's very smooth. And actually, Griffin is smoother than Volcanic. I would say that definitely, for sure, without a doubt. And these two have the same pile direction, and yet I can feel Griffin completely smoother. And Griffin is actually interesting because for some reason, The rest of the Edencloths, when I feel them, they always feel like the temperature of the room I'm in. But for some reason, when I slide across Griffin, it almost feels cooler, like as if it's like a cooling material. I don't know if that's just me. And this is not my only Griffin either. I have 2 other Griffins, and they all feel the same. So I'm just gonna say, I think that's just how Griffin is to me. Okay, maybe it's in my mind, but I don't know. The other thing with Griffin is that it's closer to volcanic than the other 2. And the reason for that is because it has a thicker backing. So this kind of like brown backing right here makes it closer to volcanic in terms of thickness. You can see. So these 2 right here are the plushiest Edencloth because they're slightly thicker than the other ones. As far as halves versus thirds for Griffin, same thing. Still very smooth. I can go over the ink. Look at that. Easy, right? And then because it's same thickness as volcanic, you can play it in full too. And this mat right here is just a beautiful mat. The metallic blue ink, the kind of like the look of Griffin is really nice. I just shifted the mat there, but yeah. So Griffin is possibly one of my favorite ones, possibly, but I'll reveal which one is my favorite at the end. So that is Griffin, and now I'm actually gonna go over to Gorgon. So Gorgon is quite limited, honestly. If you look on Pvramid's website, you can see that Gorgon is quite limited. So Gorgon is unique because it's a black Edencloth, and I think black stands out for this kind of like suede material. This is also metallic ink, and you can see it's full art. Okay, it's metallic ink, it's full art. You can see the cracking a little bit on it, but it's nothing like the volcanic ink cracking. Honestly, you can kind of barely feel this ink compared to volcanic, right? So I'm gonna go here. Okay, so I already kind of like spoiled it for you guys, but this one happens to be horizontal pile. So unfortunately, Gorgon being kind of limited, but yet it's horizontal pile, and it plays a role in it. Of course, if you're gonna go against the pile, you're gonna feel it. If you're going with the pile, it's gonna feel smooth. That's gonna go with any suede, right? So if I'm doing this way, it's nice, it's smooth, but see, when I'm going back to soup my hand, I can really feel it against me. So I'm gonna flip the other way to show you guys if you're gonna fan your cards out against the pile. See, so you can definitely feel it. Look at all these little spots right here that automatically, when you try to fan, you can definitely feel it, unfortunately. But Gorgon looks aesthetically very nice because gold ink on black, you can't really go wrong with gold ink on black, right? Metallic gold too. If this mat was in horizontal pile, it would play, I would say, just as well as the other Edencloths. It just happens to be this one is horizontal pile. I don't know if that's the case for all Gorgons. It's the only Gorgon I've touched. So that is Gorgon. Oh, there's one more thing. So Gorgon is black backing, unlike the brown backing from Griffin and volcanic, right? So Gorgon is actually slightly thinner, okay, for sure, it's slightly thinner. So would I say that you can feel the back more? I actually think that yes, you can probably feel my table a little bit more. It doesn't feel as plush, and that's in 1-player mode. If I bring it to 2-player mode, yeah, without a doubt, you can definitely feel the table more, for sure. So this is a thinner Edencloth. So those who prefer a thinner profile, you want to go for thinner Edencloths than the thick Edencloths. So that is for Gorgon. And the last one is the holy grail that people like to talk about right here. So this is Fawn, the almighty Fawn, right? So Fawn obviously has that nice fawn tan color, the classic beige timeless color. And this one, I'm not sure if it's metallic. I feel like it is metallic. I feel like it's metallic ink, but it's like a dark ink, so it doesn't feel as metallic-y as the other ones. So if you look at this one, yeah, see, so Edencloth, like I said, it has cracking, just like any other suede that would have paint over it, right? So Fawn feels nice, for sure. And this one happens to be vertical pile, so we don't care about it too much. It doesn't affect our play. Let's see how smooth it is. It's smooth, and it feels nice when you swoop up as well, for sure. And this is in halves, and now we're in thirds. Yeah. third Edencloth just feels so good. I don't know why. Something about third Edencloth just feels so good. So Fawn and Gorgon are similar to each other because they're both black backing and they're both thinner. Okay, so Fawn, Gorgon, the two most limited Edencloths are close to each other, and Griffin and Volcanic, the two most accessible Edencloths, are close to each other. So it's kind of like a 2v2 going on here, right? Now, the question that everyone likes to ask is, so which one is the best? And I think this ranking system, at least, is my subjection. But actually, I would say all my friends that I talk to that are close enough, who also own these mats, they would agree with me in the ranking. All right. So first place is gonna be Griffin. So Griffin is first place. All right. So why is Griffin first place? I think that the plushness of Griffin in Volcanic, they play a role in how it generally feels. And the fact that I can't feel the surface I'm on, even when it's hard and I'm just feeling the mat, it honestly feels super premium. And it does feel different compared to Fawn and Gorgon. On top of that, something about Griffin, it feels cooler and smoother. Like I said earlier, I don't know what makes it a cooling factor. It feels smoother. It feels smoother against the pile, with the pile, and even like perpendicular to the pile based on me playing. So my main mat that I use is Griffin, which is not this Griffin, it's another Griffin I have. But Griffin is my number one, and number one of a couple of my friends. So I'll put that over here. Now in second place, it's gonna have to be the almighty Fawn, definitely. So Fawn is really nice because obviously the color plays a role, and I guess like part of the mental is that it's very scarce. So people are gonna want something that other people can't have, right? But even objectively, I think Fawn is deserving of the second place. And I know that some people will say Fawn is number one, but for me, I think Fawn is number two. And I think it's rightfully number two because even though it's same thinness as Gorgon, something about Fawn just feels slightly plushier, and I'm not sure. I think it could be like just the visibility of it. And yep, so that's number two. And number three, it's gonna have to be, this is gonna upset a lot of people right here, so you already know what's gonna be next. Volcanic. And I think Volcanic is number three. And the reason is I think the plush plays kind of a large factor here in determining which one is number three. And I don't like to feel the surface under my playmat when I'm using a playmat. So being that it's thicker and being able to play a one player, two player, Volcanic takes it. And if this was metallic ink, like obviously that would definitely be what I would prefer. Unfortunately, it's just regular ink. But I think Volcanic is kind of slept on. Everyone always tosses Volcanic in the back burner because it's the most accessible. But objectively, I think Volcanic is better than Gorgon. And so this was a hard decision to make, to put Gorgon as the least favorite here. And I think part of it might be because Gorgon, this Gorgon has horizontal pile. But even when we did a test to go with and against pile, so when we tried to play against Gorgon's kind of like strength to make it a better comparison, I still felt that Volcanic is better than Gorgon. And again, I just think it comes down to the plush factor. Like if you see me pressing here, you can feel that plushness right here, right? But right here, see, it doesn't, it's not plushy. And I think that plays a role in Gorgon. But aesthetically, just looking at everything, now that I have everything sort of laid out, honestly, I think Gorgon looks the nicest. Because just the black, it looks so premium. That is my ranking for Edencloth and also my review and discussion for Edencloth. See you guys in the next video. Peace. Like, subscribe.